That was Beer Belly Blues. And I am your host, T.L. Swope, with Live from the Lounge. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Friday night, and everything should be all right. I guess that's what they say. We'll see. Mr. Joe Mack, Mr. Faithful, good to see you. How are you? Could you give me a thumbs up? How do I sound? Am I too low, too high? Is it good? Could you give me an idea? I would appreciate it. Got a little bit different setup here. I've incorporated a second monitor, so this is taking a little bit of getting used to, which I have finally gotten used to the one setup. So now, hey, I guess it's all good. It's all about change and progress. All right, Joe. Thank you for that. Those of you who are here, seems to be kind of sparse again tonight. I don't know what it is with Friday nights, but maybe some more will trickle in here shortly. A lot of things to talk about, as usual, crazy stuff. It never seems to end. It doesn't seem to end. It doesn't end. Where do we start at? Crazy shootings, again, school shootings. Once again, very, very suspicious or suspect. The fact then is, why is it always seems like that the FBI always seems to have been watching people whenever they do these things? I mean, why are they just watching people? I mean, they're supposed to have all of this surveillance and all of these tools and things that are just, unimaginable. But yet, one incident after another seems to happen, from domestic terrorism to Islamic terrorism. They didn't make a difference, but some kind of way it seems like the FBI has always had these people up under the radar, but yet they allow them to perpetrate these attacks. It just seems a bit suspect to me. I don't know, maybe I am a conspiracy theorist, and I have my reasons, being that there's been a history of these kind of things in our country, whether it be orchestrated by the deep state or others. Who knows? Who really knows the truth? Okay, here, that notification there. But anyhow, life goes on. Thoughts and prayers goes out to the families of the victims. Has even touched here locally where I live at, in southwestern Indiana. There's people here that had lost a relative's granddaughter. These things happen. And people just, first thing they want to do is go flying off the handle. All the politicians, especially the liberals and the leftist Democrats and everybody, gun control, gun control, gun control. Well, how about this? Maybe if they weren't in a gun-free zone, they wouldn't have been a target. And nobody seems to think about that. Getting rid of guns does not stop criminals and crazies and lunatics from perpetrating crimes, because it always seems like they have a propensity to still get the weapons. It doesn't matter what country you're in. You look at all the countries that have banned guns for the majority of the citizens, same thing. The criminals, the terrorists, all manage to get weapons. So is that really the answer? Is it the answer in most of the democratically controlled cities that feel that way? that have the outrageous crime statistics and murder statistics. No, it's not the answer. It's not the answer. We've always had guns in this country. The problem is the thinking. It's the mentality, what's going on. Nobody thinks about the violent video games. Nobody thinks about the violence that's constantly on television. Every show, heads getting chopped off, blood splattering, people getting shot. Every other show, over and over and over again, day in, day out, week after week, month after month, year after year. But none of that plays a part because, of course, TV doesn't affect anything. That's why people pay, $35, $40 million for a 30-second spot at the Super Bowl, because TV doesn't affect anything. Excuse me for being cynical. I just can't help myself. It's just everything is just so completely crazy that it's hard sometimes for even myself. And I'm immersed in this stuff, and it's hard for me to wrap my mind around some of it. And I don't watch much television, very little television. I was a huge fan of the NFL. I said was, and that probably dictated most of my TV watching was during the NFL season. There was a time where I watched a little bit of the old channels. I call them, like Me TV, which is basically a bunch of channels with the old stuff on it. The old stuff. Some of you may not be old enough to know all of these things, like Father Knows Best and Andy Griffith and Gomer Pyle and Perry Mason, and the list goes on and on, all those old great shows. That's what I enjoy watching. I guess I'm just an old timer. I'm just old school. Can't help it. This stuff that they're putting out there is full of propaganda today, and and they think it's funny because you have to curse every other word. It's supposed to be funny. No, the people that I watched were hilarious and never even used profanity. Not that I'm saying that you can't or you shouldn't. I mean, that's up to the individual. But this thing, just thinking every bleeping word, bleeping this and bleeping that makes it funny. No, not the case at all. What I find really sad is that I would say probably definitely from the millennials on down, but maybe even a little bit more recent or farther up the chain, is that these people, they have not understood, they have not seen the way things used to be. They don't understand what was normal. When people seem to have a degree of decorum, when people seem to, the majority of people had respect for one another, the respect for one another's property, a respect for elders, a respect for women, just a general, just being in a situation where that you just carry yourself in a respectable manner. That is no longer the case. No longer the case at all. And it's a shame, when people run around showing their drawers and women running around showing everything they have. And now they're protesting and wanting to run around with their boobs flailing in the wind. I mean, boy, it is. Wow. You're talking about the Twilight Zone 2.0. This is it. It's always something new. You never have to get bored. You never have to just say, oh, because There's always something. People have lost it. They have lost their minds. They've lost any sense of decency. And the sad thing about it is that those of us who are in the majority, we sit back and talk amongst ourselves, but we don't call these people out, and we let them run amok. And that only leads to more degradation of society. That's one thing that when I was a kid, and maybe some of you could relate to that, is that the old folks didn't let you get away with stuff. You know, you were out of your place and not doing what you're supposed to do, they would let you know about it. And it didn't matter, you know, it didn't have to be a family member. It could be a neighbor. Didn't matter. And in some cases, the neighbor could discipline you and then call your parents. And then they found out about it and you got it again. Nothing like that any longer. No. Now, kids can be totally in the wrong and their parents will defend them. Teachers can try to reprimand a student that's totally in the wrong, and the parent comes up and assaults the teacher. That's where we are. Everything's upside down, inside out, flip side up. Inverted reality. That's where we're living. Some people enjoy it, apparently. Jerry Springer syndrome. That's what it is. For some of these people, that's their norm. And if you're conservative and one believes in the rule of law and peacefulness and trying to get along and respect, then you've got the problem. You have the issue. And there we go. So that is my intro. Let's see what's going on here. Mr. Mac, do you have anything you want to say, or someone in the chat? If you don't want to call in, of course you can call in. And let's see here. Let me get this up. The right thing going here. The number to call is 812-205-2704. If you have something you'd like to say or put something in the chat. This is interesting. Okay, let's see here. There we'll go here. Yeah, let's put another window up here. How about that? Oh, so is that true? I guess it is. Like I said, I don't know what it is with this Friday nights. There's something. Where's everybody at? Be rich. All right. Good evening to you, sir. Shout out to Be Rich. Be rich. You got something you want to talk about? You want to talk about the school shooting? You want to talk about politics? You want to talk about anything? Crazy stuff. All these things that are going on in our nation, in this great land. Feel free to call in. The number's in the crawl. And that's 812-205-2704. Okay, what's your thoughts on the new ideal for the food stamp program? You know what? Be Rich, when I heard that, I laughed so hard. I thought that was fabulous. You know, I know for a fact, and I have known for years, even before EBT cards, that people were selling food stamps at half price to go and buy drugs, to go buy clothes, to do all kinds of things. So that bothered me. And I had opportunity. I had people even offer me to, I said, no, I'm not going to do that. You know, you're supposed to be using this stuff because you need it, and you're selling it to thugs and drug dealers and everything else. And I just never went along with that. I thought that was terrible, and thought that, okay, they come out with these EBT cards now, great. So now they're going to make it to where, you know, you got a picture on it or something, and now you can't be, but that didn't do anything. Well, all they do now is the drug dealers meet up with them. They go inside, drugs or whoever. It doesn't have to just be drug dealers, but whoever just wants to get a deal. And they go inside the store, make the purchases, and then they give the person the cash when they come outside. I've heard people talking about sitting in parking lots and watching it happen. So I am all for bringing commodities back. Yeah, you know, that's what you're supposed to be getting is food. So don't complain. You're getting food. So you should be able to go right in there and get your food. And then, you know, well, I can see this now going on, you know, the drug dealer coming up. Hey, man, you know, I got the stuff, man. You know, you got the cash. Like, no, man, you know, man, Trump messed up everything up, man. All I got is some kumquats, man. You know, can I, you know, how about some kumquats and, you know, and some cucumbers? You know, I could just see that going down. You know, great, wonderful. What do you think about it, Be Rich? Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, you know, it's bad enough that you're taking care of people, and a lot of them could probably get out and make their own way, but for whatever reason they're not, and they're getting assistance. But it's really a slap in the face when they're taking that and it's, resources that some people probably truly need, and they're abusing it. It's not right. It is not right. And, it's about time we made these bums get up off their butts. If you're physically able, mentally able, you need to get out there and do something. There's something you can do. A lot of these people, they can go out to the clubs and party and do all this other stuff, but they can't go to work. Yeah, nah. The good book says you don't work, you don't eat. And if there's nothing physically wrong with you or whatever, I see people in wheelchairs, people who are disabled and everything like that, they get out there and they go to work. Now, if they can go to work, why can't a person that's physically able walking around, why can't they go get a job? Yes, that's exactly. The system was made to help people in hard times. It wasn't meant to become a lifestyle, and a generational, almost like something that you pass down in your lineage or something. No, it wasn't designed to be that. Not in the beginning, but it got turned that way because what it did, it created a vote pool. It created a vote pool of people that wanted something for nothing, something free. And so therefore, we'll give you the vote, but you just keep giving us the freebies. And that's it. That's that's the bottom line. They like it like that. Sue Miller. I was checking what jobs were available. Let's see, move here. In my area, and there are hundreds. Most, however, were in the food service, but a lot of manager and assistant manager jobs. There's a lot of fraud. Yes, it is. Yeah. And I'll tell you this here. In my area here, I live in Evansville, Indiana. It's in southwestern corner of Indiana, right where Illinois, Kentucky, and Indiana intersects. There are all kinds of jobs here. There are literally signs outside of factories, restaurants, all different occupations asking for people to come in, go to work. But then you see guys standing right there at the intersections holding signs up talking about homeless, will work for food. And right in the background, you see a sign saying hiring. But they don't want it because they've gotten used to handouts. Be rich, you're exactly right. Give a man a fish and you fish for a day. Teach a man to fish, you eat for a lifetime. True. But the thing is, these people don't want to learn how to fish. They want to keep having the fish delivered to them, just like seals. They're sitting there barking and waiting on the trainer to throw something in their mouth. Because they've gotten used to it. They don't know how to go out and get their own. Let's see. Brian Shepard. What do you got here? It's a lot of fraud in the press. Yes. I seen a lady swipe EBT card for $85 worth of blue. That doesn't surprise me at all. Does not surprise me. Like I said, I was talking right before you came on about how people were buying food stamps. Well, we still call them food stamps, the EBT cards, where they're right there outside the store, and they just go inside the store with the person who wants to, make the deal, and they get the food and then come out and give them half price for it, So I think it's a wonderful thing, Once again, our president is thinking outside of the box, eliminating fraud and waste. And that's what it's about. It's supposed to be about food. So you shouldn't be able to cash in and redeem your food voucher for clothes, shoes, whatever it is you plan on buying with the cash, because that's not what the system was meant to do. So yeah, I totally agree. And I think it's a great thing what he did. Sue Miller says, I knew a family living in a tent, but they went to work every day until they got enough money to get a place to live, showered at the gym, and went to work. Well, see, these are people that still have some personal pride. You know, a lot of these, I hate to just call them bums, but that's what many of them are. They don't have any pride. You know, when you see people standing in the middle of the highway or right there on the edge with a sign talking about they will work for food, and they're looking up at you with puppy dog eyes, you know, like, please help me. You know, I saw a guy here in town. This has probably been about maybe 4 months ago. This guy, I mean, he come to work. He was out there in the median on one of our major thoroughfares called Green River Road. And about 15 feet from where he was, I mean, he had his Coleman cooler. He had his snacks. I mean, he had everything going on there, you know. And, you know, cell phone, cigarettes, he can afford to pay, you know, $6 a pack for cigarettes, and he's got all the amenities for the day, and he's running around doing his thing, you know. And they people they don't want to go to work for 8 hours, but I'll stand out there and look like a fool in the middle of the median with a sign, and they always have on there, because they really want to play to Christians, God bless. God bless is always in big letters. That's what they do. And Brian, I'm like you. I don't mind helping needy people, truly needy people, but not bums. I'm not going to take care of bums. That's just me. I can't help it. You know, I have had to get up and go to work feeling like crap, feeling bad, don't want to get up. In fact, most times I don't want to get up early in the morning in the dark and go to work. But you know what? I do it because I'm not a bum. I could go down there to the trustee's office and stand in line and wait for a voucher and handouts and all that stuff. To me, that's degrading. I have a personal pride. My dad always taught me, son, make your own way. Always. I've never sat back and waited on the government to give me anything. You know, as an American, you've got a pretty well level playing field. Everybody, well, some people have advantages, but that's everywhere. Everywhere that happens. You can't expect to have everything handed to you. You have the opportunity. What you make of it is your thing. And see, that's why I have a problem with all of this white privilege crap that these socialist professors are teaching these students. They've even got white students believing it. You know, I know white people who are struggling, struggled for years, having a hard time. I know black people that are living large. So where's those white people's privilege? No, it's about what you make it. You know, just because you're a particular color, you don't have any certain advantage over anybody. I mean, all of that is part of cultural Marxism. It's all about divide and conquer. You know, pitting every group against each other. So nobody gets along and we can't have a consensus on anything. That's what that's all about. Cultural Marxism. If you don't know anything about it, just do some Googling. Go to Wikipedia and read up a little bit on cultural Marxism and the tactics that they use. You see it in play. That's what these professors are teaching. It's the same stuff that Saul Alinsky promoted. Same old stuff. If the pit one side against the other, pit the have-nots against the haves, and say it is the reason why you have not is because the haves are oppressing you. That's what they tell you. That's the crap they want you to believe. And they say that it's not right for the haves to use your labor and they're getting richer. Well, you know what? You've got a choice. You don't have to work anywhere. You can go create your own thing. Start your own business. Be an entrepreneur. You can't, how do you think you got the right to tell somebody what they must pay you? No. If you're not worth it, no employer is going to pay you a certain amount of money if you're not worth it. You want more money? Either create your own business or go get you some skills and leverage yourself so that way you are in a predicament where I say, I can do this and many people can't do this, but I can do this. And so I'm worth this. Now you have some leverage to try to do a little bit of bargaining. But when you're on the low labor end, something that you could teach a monkey to do, you have no leverage. So you are not in a position to demand anything. That's the problem with these people. They're taught that they're going to go around and demand. Tell somebody, I'll make McDonald's and you're going to pay me $15 an hour. No, you're going to wake up one day and they're going to have burger making machines there and you won't even have a job. That's what's going to happen. Those machines don't call in sick. They don't get mad and curse out the manager. They don't walk off the job. And they don't receive workman's comp. So keep on demanding your $15 an hour. Now, if you think that your skills are in demand as a burger flipper, what's going to happen when that's gone? So what do you guys think about that? What's your comment on that little mini diatribe? Yes, exactly, Brian. It's all about globalization. And that's one reason why they hate President Trump, because he blew that whole thing apart, and it's about nationalism. It's about America first. They didn't want that. That's why they want to open up America and let everybody flood in here and destroy what this country was built on so that they can take over the whole world. America's standing in the way. All the Second Amendment gun-owning people, we're all standing in the way. Yeah, Joe, they do. That's one thing that Saul Alinsky said too. He said, never stop, never give up. He said, come from all angles. Never stop. Just constantly keep something going all the time. Ridicule and polarize your opponent. And that's what they've done to President Trump. But you know what? He's still winning and still fighting. Will be rich. They're not actually going to pass it on to the customers, because you know what's going to happen? The customers have already been used to $1 and $2 and $3 hamburgers. They're not going to start paying $8 for a hamburger. They'll find something else, or they'll start going to the store and bringing their ground beef home and cooking it themselves. That's what's going to happen. It's just like these stupid Hollywood folks. They want to promote socialism and communism. And how do they think they're going to win? I mean, who's going to pay their salaries? Who's going to pay those big contracts? If we have no middle class, those are the people that go to the concerts. Those are the people that go to the movies. Those are the people that buy the DVDs. Those are the people that pay for Netflix and all of this crap that they make all their money off of. And they want to kill capitalism. That's why you never hear of a communist movie star. You never hear of communist professional football players. You never hear of them because they're non-existent. And these people are so arrogant and pompous that they can't see the forest for the trees. You're right. The Second Amendment. And that's why they're after it. I don't know how many of you can remember, but this really started back when Bill Clinton was in office. They were coming after the guns then, and I forgot who that guy was that got shot and got paralyzed. They even, I think, made a bill in his name, created a bill. And, yeah, they were after that. See, Hillary was with this New World Order agenda way before Obama came in, because remember, she had her socialist health care. It was called Hillary Care. And then Bill Clinton tried to go after the guns. So ever since then, every time something comes up, first thing they want to holler is gun control, gun control. Because they know if we can get rid of the guns, then we can do what we want to the American people. But they know right now there's just way too many guns, way too many law-abiding citizens with guns that are not going to sit back and let anybody take them from them. So they're trying to find a way to slowly do it, whether they're making people, like in California, try to register for bullets. I did a little video on that. This is the kind of stuff they do. Obama was the king of this. He would chip away at stuff, just like he did with Obamacare. He started it, but he rolled it out in pieces. He didn't let it all hit at one time so it would be a shock. He just know that Americans would be distracted, and it would ease up on you and ease up on you. And the next thing you know, you were strangled. And that's what they do. They like doing that. We'll get a little bit here, a little bit there. First, oh yeah, we don't want your shotguns. We don't want your regular handguns. We just want these automatic weapons and semi-automatic weapons. That's where it starts. Then after that, then they'll come after the long guns. Then they'll come after the pistols until you have nothing. Just like Eric Holder said, talking about brainwashing people about guns. I'm sure some of you saw that clip where he said we have to constantly put it out there every day to brainwash people. Brian, I already know about that. I did a video almost 2 years ago showing one of these hamburger making machines. And this thing threw the bun down there, threw the meat on there, ketchup, mustard, pickles, and threw the bun on the top of it in like a matter of 15, 20 seconds. And I said, these people out here marching for $15 an hour, they don't even have a clue that there's a machine already sitting here that can take their place. Amazing. Yeah. Mueller indictments of 15 Russians, huh? They would never be arrested. Of course they're not going to be arrested. You know, only thing that they're wanting to do is they're hoping that they can scratch around long enough that they can find something on President Trump. That's what it's all about. They will stumble over 50 logs to try to find a toothpick on Trump. But they have all of this evidence about Hillary and everything. And I tell you the truth, I said it before and I'll say it again. I think that Hillary and Obama was so smart that they got people in on their scheme and they all got dirt on their hands. And so they're so afraid that they cannot do anything against her because they're going to go down with her. Eric Holder, yep. Exactly. So if any of you guys would like to interact, please feel free to call. Call in. The number is 812-205-2704. Call in. Don't be a square. Don't be afraid. There's nothing but love here. Nothing but love. Oh, Bill? Oh, you had to worry about old Bill Clinton now. Shoot, Bill, I tell you the truth, he never was the hardcore criminal. Hillary was the hardcore criminal. Bill was just a party boy. You know, heck, all I want to do is have a little fun. you know, I didn't inhale, I just puffed. Yeah, I was the original Puff Daddy. And remember, my friends, puff slowly. Yeah, that's Bill. Never met a camera he didn't like. But you guys, what else you got? Come on now. I know you got some more bullets in your holster now. Or in your belt, rather. I know you got some more bullets. All this crazy stuff that's been going on. And no one else has got anything else to throw out there. Sue, what gangsters? Be Rich, I tell you the truth, that's something that I don't think is getting enough attention. This thing with Israel and Iran, it could turn into something very big because it's getting pretty hot over there. So right now, this thing is way bigger than the North Korea thing. Yeah, I would keep an eye on Israel and Iran for sure. And as far as Bill letting out gangsters, well, the Democrats, they're doing all that. They want to let all these people out. And then they want to say, well, you know, we want to take away your felony conviction from voting. We're going to make it where you can vote again. So the Democrats are so desperate. They're so desperate. They're losing blacks. More and more blacks are walking away, getting up, getting off the plantation. They got, like I say, the new Negroes. They're from down under, from down south, you know, coming across the border. You know, they said, hey, come on in and we're going to put you on the plantation. All we ask is that you stay loyal and give us your vote. And they're more than happy to do it too. Oh, drug kingpins. They wouldn't be surprised. But being that it's the Clintons, they probably probably got some money out of the deal. Seems like everything Hillary's involved in, she gets some money. So that's what she's about. She's about getting paid. China banning hip hop. To be honest, I think they're pretty smart. They're trying to stop that craziness, that rebel mentality from coming to their country. I have, really tell you the truth, never been a fan of hip hop. In the very beginning, when they had like Curtis Blow, and this was like an early, very early 80s. Hip hop, there was no gangster then. It was just about, they were rhyming, but they talked about positive stuff. It wasn't about killing and all of that. It's when the music industry incorporated hip hop, they figured out a way, when Bill Clinton privatized the prison industry, they got together with some music executives and found these angry black kids that were rapping and said, hey, we found us a way we can make some money. So what they did when they privatized these correctional facilities, the prison industry, they brought some of these law enforcement people in and they colluded together. And then they started promoting the rap music. This gangster, they knew it was angry, and they knew that if it kept going, it would inspire other people to commit crimes. When they made this deal, these people who made the deal with the music industry, they all had major stock holdings in these prison companies, the ones that were controlling these prisons, that were building the hotels outside. So it was a setup from the beginning to make money while promoting this gangster rap. And even Hillary, all the way up, and I think into her last year of her campaign, she had to give back money because she got called out on it. She was receiving money from the prison industrial complex, that she was getting dividends, receiving money from them. And that was something that her husband promoted, 3 strikes and you're out, and started locking up the minorities and blacks especially for small amounts of cocaine and stuff and giving them time. And again, when the Clintons are involved, there's always some cash. That's just how they roll, you know. It's all about power and money with the Clintons. Yeah, that's another thing. United States and Russia. Apparently, Russia has some fighters over in Syria, and the United States has some fighters over in there. And apparently, we killed a few of them, Russian fighters. But they tried to say that they were not a part of the Russian army. They were Russian people, but they were part of some leftist or probably Islamic type group or whatever. Going to be about the deaths of Tupac and Biggie. You know, I don't know a whole lot about that. All I know is that these dudes was popular, and I've never really followed gangster rap. I've never been a fan of it. It was just, you know, it's always been degrading, and a lot of death and misery behind it. And all the people that I saw that listened to it, they all went the wrong way. The majority of them, especially the younger people, they get caught up in the videos and the gangster, the thug life or whatever you want to call it. Never impressed me one bit. Not at all. So things that don't impress me, I tend not to follow, especially when I see that it's something that's really negative that's hurting a lot of people. Has anybody tried to call in? I just want to make sure that I'm not having any issue with my phone line. Once again, I don't know what it is. Is it that it's going to cost somebody to call, or is that the reason why people aren't calling, or what's going on? Nah, haven't watched any Olympics. Bunch of, I heard about how they were propping up Kim Jong-un's sister and everything. When you have our media promoting communist dictators, that tells you everything you need to know right there. I will not give them one iota of my attention. That Olympic stuff to me it just doesn't excite me. It doesn't excite me. It's so much corruption and everything in that too. So, it's a shame that everything has become so politicized anymore. You can't hardly enjoy anything anymore. Says Sue Denny part some heavy duty drug guy. That's something I missed on that. Maybe I need to research that. Nothing is beyond anything with the Clintons. I mean, they left a trail of bodies from Arkansas all the way up to the White House. So, and even all the way up to Seth Rich when she was running for the nomination. How he turned up, apparently robbed, broad daylight, robbed with no cash or nothing taken from him, shot in the back, broad daylight, after he was on his way to go to WikiLeaks, apparently, to spill the beans on the corruption and how the Clintons were stealing the nomination from Bernie Sanders. So, the Clinton mystique lives on. I don't know anything about that new Black Panther movie, but I have a feeling that it is loaded with propaganda and, but no doubt, blaming white folks for everything and reinforcing what the professors are teaching, that the white man is oppressing everybody and that they cannot do anything because of this oppression. And I'm sure there's an element of rise up and rebel. It's just insane. It's insane. Like I said, in one video I did, recent video, there is a Universalist church here in my town, and it's a white church. And I rode past one day, and out there on the marquee, it said, "This Sunday's message, confront whiteness." And I'm just driving down the road, just shaking my head like, I'm in the twilight zone. This is crazy. White people talking about confronting whiteness. and they say Trump's insane. That's what's so funny. They say President Trump's insane. That's absolutely hilarious. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, Sue. No kidding. Hey, Sue, wasn't it you last week that said that you were going to call in? That said you were afraid. Was it you, or am I mixing you up with someone else? Be rich, Confederate statues. Listen, here's the deal. These Confederate statues have been there, some of them, for more than 100 years. During that 100 years, black people have ascended, become presidents, heads of governmental agencies, movie stars, CEOs, just done all kinds of things with those statues sitting there. Now, how all of a sudden did those statues become a symbol of oppression? It's only because they've been brainwashed. If you believe you're oppressed, you're oppressed. Oh, secret friends. Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. We'll see about that, Sue. We're going to work on you. But yeah, Confederate statues, that's ridiculous. These same people running around screaming, ranting, and hollering about a piece of rock that probably 90% of the people didn't know who they were or what they did or didn't even care. Bringing all of this attention to them and spending all of this energy. How about taking that energy and trying to figure out how to create a job or to start a business or to better educate yourself? Something positive. Tearing down that statue does not stop drive-by shootings. Tearing down that statue does not help your unemployment situation. Tearing down those statues does not make your stature any bigger in the community. It just makes you feel good. It makes you feel like you accomplished something, but you've done nothing. You've become like ISIS. That's what they do. They go into places and tear down all the religious stuff so nobody can see it anymore. But does that make them any better? No. Oh, he's Latin and very suspicious. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, Trump is true. It doesn't stop, and it won't stop unless we stop them. Because when you see Pelosi and all the rest of them, Maxine Waters, and they're out there rallying their troops talking about resist, impeach 45, and all of that stuff. All of that is saying don't let up, don't stop, don't back down. Keep the insanity going. Party up open. What's that? Tearing down statues of the party. The vote for 95%. Kind of Maybe you want to rephrase that because I kind of don't. Turn down the statutes of the party, the vote for 95%. Where are the pigeons going to go to the band? Yeah. Yep. And just remember, these people, they've got your kids and your grandkids in public schools. And they're making sure that they're enlightening them. They are enlightening them. Well, some people don't like the fact that you talk about Democrats, but it's amazing. They don't have any problem slamming and denigrating and talking about us and calling us morons, lunatics, Trumpaphobes, and had this one guy that he claims he was Mexican, and I made a video about it. He was calling me a fanboy of Trump. No, I'm not a fanboy of Trump. I am a person that realizes when someone is being lambasted unfairly, and I feel it's my duty to stick up for a man that's doing everything he can to try to do what's right for this country, while other people are trying to portray him as worse than Lucifer. No, it's not about being a fanboy. And this same guy was listening to a lot of comments, and I was going to let him go because I believe in letting people speak, but he started getting so vile and everything. I just had to, I had to wipe him out. I had to X him out because that's, when you go around attacking people and just being vile and foul-mouthed, and enough is enough. It's like, hey, if you got something to say, man, why don't you go start your own channel? Why go to somebody else's channel and insult people and everything? Either you're too lazy, too stupid to get your own stuff together. What is it? But go start your own channel. If you got that much to say, why you want to go around insulting people? Exactly. Yep. Be rich. That's true. Exactly what they're doing. In fact, a lot of these professors take pride into destroying the faith of Christian kids. They love it. They revel in it. People, what we got to realize is that socialism, communism, all of these deals, they hate God. They hate the family because God established what the family should look like. They hate it. And that's why they want to pervert everything. That's why they promote all of this transgenderism and all of this perverted, wicked stuff that's destroying our young people and confusing the crap out of them. That's it. That should be child abuse, Sue. Sue says, I have a relative whose 8-year-old son was terrified to go to bed election day because of snowflake mother freaking out. What the hell? See, did you hear about the story, I think it was last week, where someone at an Outback restaurant there was a police officer there with his family. He was in uniform. He had his sidearm on him. And this female manager comes up to him and tells him that the restaurant is a gun-free zone and he must leave. And he says, look, you know, I'm in uniform and we're required to wear our sidearms while we're in uniform. I'm here with my family to have a meal. So she pretends, or she says she's going to make a phone call. She comes back and says, well, you've got to go. And a woman somewhere in the restaurant starts freaking out and says, I need help. He's a policeman and he's got a gun and they kill people. I need somebody to help me. So the manager had to help her, had to take her out to her car because she was freaked out because the police officer had a gun and she thought the police officer was going to kill her in the restaurant. Well, the police officer ended up leaving and posted the event on social media, and the Outback people got back with him, apologized, said they straightened out the manager, spoke with her, and then gave the police officer, I think it was a $150 gift certificate to, you know, to come back and eat again. But that is the kind of ridiculous stuff that goes on. These people have mental illness. You're in a restaurant and you see a police officer in his uniform with his gun and he's with his family and they come there to eat and you're sitting there, have to be escorted out to your car because you're in such fear that this police officer is just going to get up and shoot you because, you know, you're having a medium rare steak or something. As I said, but they say Trump's crazy. All right, Sue. Take care. Exactly, Be Rich. Now, would she be thinking that if they had a nut up in there that was had a gun and was holding somebody hostage or something? I bet you she'd be loving the police coming up in there then. Well, everybody, this is an interactive show. If anybody would like to call in, the number is 812-205-2704. 812-205-2704. Call in. If you agree, you disagree, doesn't make any difference. Got something on your chest or your breast, whatever it is, feel free to call in. Close down the crazy houses. I think they still have them. They just don't call them crazy houses. Thoughts on part of California wanting to separate? Actually, it's more than a part. Most of California is rural, but they're being dictated by the coastal cities. San Diego, LA, San Francisco, all of those along the coast. The rural people have had it. They're sick and they're fighting back now. And they've got a movement called New California, and they're working on actually separating themselves from those coastal cities. And I hope it happens because they can't make it on their own. They won't make it on their own because they're already in trouble now. Look at all the homelessness. I'm sure you've seen the videos. all the homeless people outside of Staples Center and LA, just miles of tents and everything. But they say, hey, that ain't enough. We need more people we can't take care of. Bring them in. Bring in illegals even. Bring them all in. Yeah, I hope they succeed. They want it. That's what they need to get. If that's what they want. You know, sometimes you got to be careful about what you ask for. And that governor they got there, that Jerry Brown, you talking about Looney Tunes. Him and Pelosi, they care more about illegals than they do about American citizens. Because they want votes. They want votes to keep them in office. You bring these people in and give them all the freebies and goodies, you know what they're going to do? They're going to vote for you. Especially when you allow them to vote and they're not even a citizen. They're not going to vote for anybody else. What else you guys got? I live in North Carolina. Can't believe sit there trying to make voters show their ID. This is being called racist. I thought it was common sense, your ID, if you're voting. Exactly. I've always agreed with that. It's not racist. Bottom line is the Democrats want to be able to have fraudulent voting. That's why they don't want IDs. Listen, a presidential election, 4 years. You're going to tell me that you can't get these people IDs in 4 years? Or even the midterms. You're going to tell me you can't get these people IDs in the midterms? Many of these same people have to go to the license branch. They have to do other things. So why can't they get a voter ID? Why is that racist? No, it is not racist. Just like when President Trump tried to get them to release the records because they were finding out all these dead people voted for Hillary and all this fraud was going on, then these crooked Democrat areas, they would not even release the records, talking about it's private. No, it wasn't about private. You guys know that you were crooked and you didn't want to release the information. So I'm all about voter IDs. In some cities, you got to have an ID to walk down the street. If they pull you over, you're supposed to have some kind of ID. So, yeah. If you're going to vote, we need to know who you are. It's just don't be walking up there with some fake driver's license or somebody put together in a van in the park, you know, and I'm going to walk in and vote 10 times and cross the line and vote here and there. Yeah, we know it. And Trump tried to prove it. But see, they stopped him. They stopped him because they said, oh, this is private information. We can't release that. Yeah. I can guarantee you if it was the other way around with Hillary instead of Trump, I guarantee you they wouldn't be saying that. They'd be singing a different tune. That's what they do. They're just liars, hooligans, crooks. They'll do anything to stay in power or to get back in power. The number to call is 812-205-2704. I can't believe no one has called in. No one wants to partake of the audio interactivity. I appreciate you guys' activity in the chat. Don't get me wrong, but it would be nice to also have someone who has the cojones to call in. Well, if you're not male, you may have the huevos to call in. 812-205-2704. Oprah's already said she's not going to run, and thank God. And she knew there's too many skeletons in her closet. She knows better. She knows better. They don't have anybody. They're just hoping something that'll catch on fire. They don't have anybody who can run against Trump. Yeah. Faith to abdication of reason. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a war on white, but not really so much white people. I would go even further. It is a war on the white male. He is the one that is the target. That's a target. I told, I got a couple of white friends that they're brothers, and they run a pizza place here. I told them this one day, almost a year ago. I told them, I said, you guys, the white people has been in charge of this country all this time. And why did they just sit back and let all this crap happen to where it's almost out of control? I said, you guys had everything set up. Would you sit back and let it all happen? And now they've turned their sights on you. Before it was just like, we're doing this. Now they are the target. And the sad thing is about it is that they are even using white women to help target the white men. And many of these guys, they're not racist. Probably the majority of them are not. They're just like anybody else, hardworking guys trying to make a living, trying to enjoy life best they can. Just, don't want to be bothered, don't want hassles. But now they've become the villain. Because all your problems are not none of your fault or your doing. You didn't have anything to do with it. Just like those statues. Them statues what's got you oppressed, boy. You know that. That's why you can't get no job. Look at that General Lee sitting up there. He been holding you back all your 18 years. That's why you working at Burger King. That's why you don't have a nice car. It's that statue over there, boy. Boy, you got to tear that thing down. Because you ain't going nowhere as long as that powerful R that's spread all over this town is just keeping you locked down. You got to tear it down, boy. Yeah. Divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. That's what it's all about. And it's to make sure that the people who own the plantation stay there. We can't allow Trump to create jobs. We can't allow things to get better. For these people might start getting a glimmer of hope and might not believe in the lie of the oppression. And then they might start saying, maybe I can start a business. And then I might say, well, wait a minute. I don't want all my money going out to taxes and this and that and everything for all of this stuff. I think I'm going to vote Republican. Oh, we can't have that. We cannot have that. We can't have it. Yeah, Mark Reed. They need to be replaced. Because here's the man, he's the man that's giving up everything. You know, he's not even taking a salary. He comes in there. The White House is a dump compared to what he's used to. Air Force One is a downgrade compared to what he's used to. He had to give up and get rid of and cut loose a bunch of stuff because of conflict of interest that was money making. He spent most of his money in his campaign. The man gave up all kind of stuff to run for president of this country. And what did he get? He gets crapped on. Exactly. Faith is abdication of reason. There you go. I have said the same thing. If the whites were so evil and oppressive, why would they let you get out there and rampage and run around and do what you do? Dictators don't do that. You know, go to any place that's got a dictator and get out there and try to do the stuff that you see that's been going on in our streets. It's not going to happen. Yeah, you might try it. But after that first time, they're going to teach everybody a lesson and put you back in your place. So it's a bunch of crap. It's brainwashing. Brainwashing. Like I said, if you believe you're oppressed, you are. If you believe it, you are. And these people that say they're oppressed, I tell them, I agree with you. You are oppressed. I'm not. I'm not oppressed. I may not have everything I want. I may not have all the money I want. But I tell you what, nothing's stopping me. I mean, everybody else has got obstacles just like I do. Nothing's stopping me from going after it. It all depends on how bad do I want it? How hard do I want to work? How much energy do I want to expend? Has nothing to do with me being oppressed. Please. Yeah, I believe it. Be rich. Let me give a history, you guys, a short history. I just turned 57 years old, January 15th. And I can remember as a child coming up in my own town, there were so many black businesses. I mean, we had everything. Dentist's office, doctor's office, pharmacies, pool hall, restaurants, just gas stations, all kinds of businesses. After welfare sat in, by the time I was in my 20s, almost all of that stuff was gone. Now, how can you say that we are being oppressed when all of this stuff was going on even before there was no type of, I mean, the interracial stuff now, it was no comparison to what it was back then because there was hardly any. But yet, black people managed to have all of these businesses. You know why? They weren't told they were oppressed. They had a work ethic. They were taught to get up, pull their pants up, get to work, get out there and make something happen. You got a girlfriend or whatever, you take her, your family, your wife, you get out there and make something happen. Either you go work for somebody or you start your own business. That's what it was happening. But when welfare came in, ran the men out, thanks to Lyndon Johnson, another wonderful, loving, liberal Democrat, ran them out and left all these women out there for the picking from all of these men. And these women have needs, and the men took care of them. And now you got babies by who's your daddy and who's your granddaddy and everybody else. And then we pump the drugs in, and then we flood rap in, and now you've got a total illegitimacy rate of nearly 90% with no fathers in the home and crime out the wazoo. Yep, the loving Democrat way. Let's see, Be Rich. Was in Nigeria where some free slaves weren't sent after being free with blacks who think America's so bad that they would want to go live in Nigeria now. Oh, please. That's just like the same black people, Whoopi Goldberg and all the rest of them, Samuel Jackson and all of them, including some white ones, they claimed they were all going to leave America if Trump got elected. Unfortunately, they're still here. Because they weren't going to go anywhere. Everybody knows where their bread is buttered. They're not stupid. They were just talking crap because they thought Hillary was going to win, so they stuck it all out there to be funny. They weren't going anywhere. Yep, you're right, Be Rich. He did say that. And you know why? Because he said, we will create dependency, not independence. We will create dependency. So they'll keep coming back to the hand that's feeding them. So that's why I call the Mexicans now that are coming across the border, the illegals, the new Negroes. They bring them over here. Many of them don't have skills. They can't speak the language. Some of them are sick. And so they give them freebies and goodies. And they create dependency in exchange for loyalty at the voting booth. Once again, the number to call is 812-205-2704. 812-205-2704. I dare you. In fact, I double dog dare you. Call in. Yep. I always did like Trump from the beginning. Like I said, at first, I didn't know whether to believe him or not. But after I saw him out on the campaign trail, after a few of his live rallies I saw online and the stuff he was saying, I said, hey, this guy is for real. He's for real. And I'll tell you what, you can tell he's a builder. He knows what he's doing with his economy and everything. And they're trying to shut him down. I can guarantee you they're manipulating that stock market. That stock market was not doing that stuff when Obama was in. And now they want to keep raising up interest rates. They wouldn't even raise up the interest rates almost during the whole time Obama was in, 8 years. Within like the first 3 months of Trump being in, they already started raising the interest rates, trying to squash the recovery, doing everything they can to stop him from being successful. All right, Brian, have a good one. Thanks for coming on. Yeah, those rallies were exciting. He came to my town. I went down there probably 2.5 hours before, and it was a line wrapped completely around the arena and about a quarter of a mile down the street. I said, there's no way. You know, I knew I didn't even have a chance of getting in there, and I was there like 2.5 hours early. Bill Clinton came. he went to a little coffee shop, and it wasn't but about 25 people there. That's all that showed up. It was sad. It was really sad. Hillary didn't even bother stopping. She just sent old Bubba in. Yeah, let's see. Rothschild from the stock market. Well, yeah. That they usually do control all the stuff where the big money is. I sure would like somebody to chime in here for a few minutes. We got about another, about a half hour left, another 30 minutes. So yeah, you guys, I like I said, I got a little different setup here. Just trying to get the feel of it. So I'm really not used to using two monitors, but I guess it'll be good after I get used to it. May have to make some adjustments here, but meanwhile, it seems to be suffice. By the way, did any of you guys get a chance to see my video that YouTube blocked? Called Manly Female Fighting. It's called Manly Female Fighting. I got like about 3 views on it before YouTube blocked it. Said it was blocked worldwide, supposedly by, and I put a video kind of explaining what happened. And I created a site, but you have to be a member. And I'm going to do some other stuff there. Some of the stuff that I put on there will not be on YouTube in the future because I got some plans for some things. But you can sign up free and you can be able to see it. But YouTube blocked it within like a few minutes of being up. I got an email and they had blocked it. And they claimed it some place called YouTube Vice. I never heard of it. I haven't had time to try to look into it. Okay, B Rich. I haven't had time to look into who this YouTube Vice is or what's going on with it. But with all the politically correct censorship that's going on, I was talking about, yeah, that's what I'm getting into is that I think that it had something to do about this supposedly woman that's fighting this Japanese guy, this mixed martial arts, MMA, and something went wrong with the weigh-in to where somebody's weight was off or something. And then this Japanese dude, he starts going off speaking Japanese toward this woman, if you will. I mean, I'm telling you, to me, it did not look like a woman. It looked like a man with boobs and long hair. And that's what I was kind of talking about. And I made some comments about it after I showed the clip. The clip was only like about 30 seconds. And once I uploaded it, I had, 2 views. I had 1 thumbs up, and then it got blocked that fast. So by the time it stopped, I had 3 views. So 3 people saw it, and nobody else got a chance to see it. And I don't know if it had something to do with that or even the people who produced it, because I showed some shady, there were people there that had smirks on their face like they knew something was up. You know, even the so-called woman had this look, and I showed that in the video that, you know, and maybe, you know, they wanted to copyright this thing because they wanted to keep that particular narrative out and didn't want anybody to come against what they were doing. It seems like this was an exploitation deal, and it was all about making money. I'm surprised I didn't see Don King pop up in there somewhere. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I saw ABL talking about that, Be Rich. Yeah. So, like I said, with what's going on with Twitter, here's another thing, too. That video came out by, what is his name? James O'Keefe, where they were talking to some Twitter employees, and they were saying that they have been employing what's called shadow banning, to where you'll tweet and it'll look like you're tweeting, but nobody else can see your tweets. And they've been doing that to conservative people. And this undercover video had these people on there talking about it. So I went back to my Twitter channel and I got to looking, and I had one reaction to anything I've posted since the beginning of September. I didn't know about Milo. Yeah. Well, they need to be sued, you know, because in that video, they all basically let it be known that they're all leftists and they hate Trump. So they come up with this thing so that they can make you think that you're tweeting to people and nobody's even seeing what you're doing. Amazing. Yeah, James O'Keefe, he is. I mean, this guy ought to receive some type of award or Pulitzer Prize or something. I mean, because he's done some great, but of course he won't, because he's exposing leftist propaganda and agendas. See, now, be a whole different thing if he was exposing conservatives. Oh, wow. Oh, he'd be up on a pedestal right now. He'd be on all the news channels and NPR and everybody else. They'd all want to have him on. Oh yeah, sure, yeah. He'd be like a, you know, like some type of cult figure or something. Exactly. Yeah, but the site that I was telling you about, invertedrealitytv.com, it's not just for showing videos or different things that may be banned or blocked by YouTube, but I got plans in the near future for some contests and different giveaways and things like that. And it's only going to be available to people who are part of the IRTV Nation. So only people who have signed up, because it doesn't cost anything to be a member. Like I said, it will be some things for sale there too. I'm going to open up a store later on with some gear and maybe some affiliate stuff. But like I said, the promotions and everything else is going to be run through there too, the contests and stuff. So that's why I want to let people know, because when I run these things, they're not going to be able to access anything unless they sign up. So, and, you know, you need to have things like that, you know, because the one reason that I have this option to have these other videos and my content hosted on another server besides YouTube, because they can shut you down anytime, just like they did to Dr. Common Sense. Look what they done to ABL. I'm not going to let that happen to me. I'm going to have my content posted somewhere else, archived. So if they pull that, they're not going to take all my stuff down. I'm still going to have access to it. And I'll still be able to post it all on my website if I want to. Well, you guys, we're down to about 16 minutes left, and I am really surprised that not one of you have called in. I am utterly shocked. And I've asked this before. I want to try to find out, is Friday night not a good night or what? And last time I asked this, it seemed to be that the consensus was that, yeah, Friday night's okay. But I kind of have my doubts, because I've got quite a few subscribers, and I'm not even 1/10 have been on this call tonight. Well, on the stream, rather. Yep, Joe. I'm just trying to figure out, is there a better night, because I like to get a lot more participation. Not that I don't appreciate you guys that are here. I do. But it's all about interaction. This message, it's all about drawing in a crowd and getting more people fired up and giving them encouragement to go out and keep the conservative message going, and not to back down from these nuts that are out there trying to intimidate everybody into silence. This is a mission. This is not some game. This is not just entertainment. You know, this is serious. This is for the survival of this country. Every voice matters. Yeah, watching the Olympics. Sure. Probably so. Getting filled with more propaganda. Came up at what same time? Joe? On Fridays? Yeah, Be Rich. They're pretty lively. Joe, were you talking about on Friday nights? Oh, okay. Hmm. Well, Saturday's not good. I'm thinking Sunday's probably bad because everybody's worn out and trying to get some sleep to get ready for Monday. Yeah, I understand that, Mark. Yeah, I know. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I don't understand is how I can have as many subscribers as I do and only have, I mean, less than a tenth of them even show up. I don't know if they just didn't click the notification bells or I don't know what's going on. I have no way to gauge it. Because, see, that's the whole thing. I think now that since I got the one window open where you can see the chat actually in the window, that people can see that now when they watch the video afterwards. But before I did that, they would just see me talking and have no idea what you guys were saying because you can't see the live chat in the video. It's because I used the special script to be able to get that pop-up to show up in my window. I found out about that since the last show. Actually, I had it in the last show, but I didn't engage it, and I put it in this time. And it seems to be okay. What do you guys think about the chat showing up in the window? Yeah, there's already thanks, Joe. There's already some people, some illegals and different people already are starting to blame the Democrats because they're realizing Trump is laying out a compromise. He's saying, okay, you know, I'll do this, but you got to do that. And they're like, well, if you guys really want this to happen, then you do this. Well, apparently you don't. And you're just using this. That's what this one guy said. So, wow, it's amazing how fast time goes. It's hard to believe it's already been almost 2 hours. But I got to figure out some kind of way to get some more people involved, because I really don't like dead space at all. I don't like it. And conversation keeps things lively. And when people are going back and forth, then that helps with everybody in the chat, because everybody hears things and then they throw their points in. And it's just total interactivity that way. When you don't have any vocal exchange, that just puts a damper on everything. Yeah. And that's one thing, B Rich. One thing I can say about Trump. You know, they call this man stupid. That man's a genius. He plays these people like fiddles. I mean, he is so far ahead of them. It's just ridiculous. I mean, he's been like that from the campaign all the way up to now. He's still playing them. They're throwing everything at him that they can and then some, and it still doesn't work. Yes, he is. It's a chess game, and he's winning. Even with everything stacked against him, he's still winning. It's amazing. But I can tell you this. These people are desperate. They're going to keep it going. And you just wait. Mark my words. Remember, you heard it here. You just wait till this spring when the weather breaks. They're going to be right back out there in the streets. And the insanity is going to be ramped up again. They're not going to let up. They are not going to let up. And you can bet Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters, and Barack behind the scenes and the rest of them, they're going to keep the resistance stuff stirred up. And they're going to be right back out there. You had to do something about these people. You're going to have to do something about them. Can't leave them alone, because they're not going to stop. So any last parting comments for you guys in the chat? We're down to about 4 minutes left. All right, B Rich. Thanks for showing up. Have a good evening. All right. Yeah, Mark. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going because this thing is, it's not just something that I'm doing on the side. This is a passion. I mean, I've been talking like this for years, and I get into spirited conversations all the time with people, and I have a lot to say about things, and I'm very serious about this. So, I'm investing my time and my money into this to get this message out here. Whether or not it turns into something that can put me in a position to where I don't have to work a regular job or not, I don't care. I still want to get the message out. Of course, I'd like support, because it's ongoing money. You have to pay for hosting, and you have to pay for phone line time and all of this stuff, but that's a part of it. But my main thing is not about money. It's about the message. It's about the message. And there's a lot of people that talk a lot of stuff about, this and that and what they feel about America and all of this. But, it's just talk. They don't put up. There's no sacrifice. There's nothing to it. They just talk. I've invested time and equipment and money to put out there what I want to say, what I feel, and to try to change minds, because like I said, and I'll say it again, these people have your kids. They're in these schools. They are in these indoctrination centers. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. Good night, Mark. Well, it looks like it's about time to shut things down. So, this is another edition of Inverted Reality TV, live from the lounge, going down in the books. I'd like to thank you all for showing up. I'd like to ask you to come back, spread the word, spread the links, come back to the next show if you can. Sue, you're back. You come back when I'm getting ready to close things down. You've been on for 2 hours. Where you been, hun? Yeah, now you come back after I'm shutting things down. But anyhow, that's 2 hours. And again, I'd like to thank you all for showing up. Pass the word. We do it again. I think I'm just going to do an impromptu one. I don't know. I don't know when I'm going to do it, but it'll probably be another one before next Friday night. I'm just going to do one out of nowhere and just see what happens. Sometimes life works like that. Anyway, excuse me. I'd like to thank you all again for showing up. Sue, sorry you missed out on the last part. Hope to see you again. But it's been 2 hours, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off. This is TL Swope with Inverted Reality TV, live from the lounge. Signing off. You all have a great night.
We are sorry, but the show has ended. Goodbye.